Ian Arnold, bringthenoiseuk.com, here with Killer Jake.
Hey.
How's your day been so far?
Oh, it's just been getting in the bus and come from the hotel down here and a few cups of teas and motorway jams. That's about it. And then pretty average.
Go out and do your thing. So you're headlining above Metallica.
Well, we're last on, but it's a good spot.
Yeah. So last year you played on the main stage, right, and then this year in your tent.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, sort of the intimacy of the tents?
Oh, a tent without a question. I've done so many festivals. The sound's always better in the tent.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah, I take whatever's coming.
What is it you like about UK festivals as opposed to, say, ones abroad?
What do I like about UK festivals? I like laughing at the people wallowing in the mud in front of me, right? Now, what do I like about it? Nothing. I don't really care for UK festivals, period. I mean, festivals generally have turned into this this huge corporate event. We played in Roskilde last week, which is a huge one, and it was just like thousands and thousands of office workers.
Yeah.
And it's no smoking and no this and no that. It's clinical, antiseptic, and indeed a long way from Woodstock.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate them. You got these celebrity tents and all the. Oh, I can't start. Most of them are really. The version, the V2 festivals are really awful. But no, I don't really. Some of the festivals are good, and this is always a good festival because the people that turn up at this festival are really into the bands that are playing. Yeah. In that way, it's very cult-like. But the general trend of festivals, I don't like.
You should start your own.
Oh God!
Break all the rules.
Well, actually, I'm gonna set up one festival as a one-off on the island I live on, which is only going to be on the 21st December 2012, and that's off the coast of New Zealand. So remember that date, if you remember.
So if you get us there, we'll be there.
It'll be paradise, we're going to play on that day, yeah.
Awesome. So after this festival, what's next for Killing Joke?
Oh, loads more festivals. Every week is a festival. It's during the summer season, but we're recording at the same time, so it's pretty intense. We're doing our 2012 album, which is sounding much darker and heavier than the last album already. So. The idea is that when you get to this graceful age of 51, that you start increasing the workload, not taking it easier. We're kind of doing it the other way around. And I think it's significant that really Killing Joke's, the most vital music in Killing Joke's career has been the last decade and a half. Yeah. And the records have been becoming more furious, and the band's playing so well, and we're doing the opposite to every band, or what a band should do, which is your first 3 albums are going to make a huge impact, and we're doing it the other way around. And I'm enjoying it. It's such an amazing experience for me to be with the same guys 33 years later, and the band to me is exemplary insofar as they conduct themselves in a way I think a band should. Like, we're all friends, and we all enjoy each other's company, actually, outside of being in the band.
Yeah.
And that's pretty remarkable after 33 years. And indeed, our friendship that's kept the band together has outlasted all our marriages.
Understandable, really. So, you almost know a hell of a lot about each other, all each other's secrets.
We're completely psychic with each other. They register every face muscle. And they know exactly what's going through your head. It's like this. After 33 years, what do you expect? I spent more time with these guys than my own blood family.
Any temptations to put a few books out there?
Yeah, actually. I'm doing a trilogy about Killing Joke. And the first of them will be out with the new album and the movie on Killing Joke. It's all coming out at the same time in 2012. So yeah, I'm going out to Clappers to
big plans.
Bring it all together. Yeah, and of course I've got all my classical music. I'm starting with the Paris Opera, and I've done a huge classical work which is about the 4 great ages of man, and that's taken me a while to score all that up for 2 choirs and symphony orchestra in 7 languages, and then doing this with orchestra, and then flipping over to Killing Joke. It's a schizoid life.
Which side of the coin do you find
both? I love both.
More therapeutic? The release of the fury, or
an orchestra is never going to be able to do what a band can do.
Yeah.
You're never going to get thousands of people going nuts physically with an orchestra. But when you want to describe landscape or romantic sentiments, I wouldn't use a band either. They're different mediums, and to give you, they're so different when you go out and do it live. For example, when you conduct an orchestra, your mind is on fire.
Yeah.
Because the orchestra plays behind the beat, and you're anticipating everything that's going to happen. So your mind is looking at all these instruments and bringing all these different instruments in. So it's a very cerebral experience. Your mind's so on fire. Intellectually, you're on fire. Whereas it's the opposite with Killing Joke. I don't remember anything when I get on stage. I get into a complete frenzy. Don't remember a bloody thing. You know, it's completely different things. One's a kind of I get myself into a trance state and I go out of my body, and the other experience is where your mind is so alive. It's stronger than the strongest acid trip. It's an amazing experience when you've got a whole symphony orchestra and all these people all running through you, and the music, and it's all alive. There's no amplification.
Yeah.
You know, or each one of those people behind those instruments, they spent their whole lives trying to make that sound, get that sound together. Yeah. It's a fascinating thing, and I'm completely self-taught.
Yeah.
You know, which all the band are and everything. We haven't got a fucking exam between us. You know, and we're all self-educated, and I hope what the things that Killing Joke inspires, that I hope that there's another way through self-education. You don't have to go the university route, and we all felt like society had judged us when we were young, and judged us as being worthless to society, and there was a lot of anger within all of us, and we found a way that we could all do most remarkable things. Like I've become an architect. I've built 2 buildings and designed 2 buildings. They haven't fallen down and killed anyone yet, and so that makes me an architect. You know, I'm always looking for new challenges. Youth's like that. All the band are like that, and they're all multi-talented, all so many different things, and achieve so many things without a single exam. So I like to think that this heartens some young people who are coming out of school, and they too have got no exams, and they don't know, they're feeling pretty shit about themselves. And I like to use Killing Joke as a metaphor to say there is another way. Just follow your passion, get really good at it, self-educate, and you too will win. Because for me, it's a long way from breaking and entering into chemists and living in squats to becoming a knight of France. It's a long journey to all these things. And
so you've proved it's definitely possible.
Yeah, sure it's possible, and it's fun. You know, you can teach yourself anything, literally anything. I've got a mate of mine who lives next door to me, and he built his own plane, and then we got a little airfield near us, and he decided he'd read the book and he'd never flown before. We all went to the airfield and watched the motherfucker take off in his thing and land the thing, and he'd never done it before. And I love the people who do these kind of things. My philosophy in life is dive in the deep end and start fucking swimming.
So if you were to look back over the whole career, is there one point you could say which was the most important to you to sort of prove your happiness? One moment that you were the happiest you've been, and what triggered it?
Back in 1981, after sort of touring quite a bit, I realised that there are other things I really want to do and study, and different things I want to do with my life, and I found it cool. The whole album touring thing, restrictive. So, and I was studying sort of Carl Jung at the time, and I wanted to go through this process called individuation, which is finding your dark self or your genius or whatever you want to call it. And so I buggered off to Iceland, but at the time I was having like this obsession about islands. And after Iceland, we kind of, Geordie and myself went to all these different islands around the world looking for the most perfect island. But what happened was, when I got to Iceland, when I woke up on the 26th of February 1982, the first thought that came to my mind was, I want to be a composer for symphony orchestra. And it was just a crazy idea. And if I hadn't had that singular thought, I don't think anything would have happened. And that's what I got out of Iceland. And what was amazing about this obsession with this island was that I found all these prophecies about an island at the ends of the earth. And I kept looking for islands all around the world with Geordie, and eventually I got to New Zealand and found this little island off the coast of New Zealand. And when I arrived on this island, Geordie found the island first, and he said, it's the one. Yeah. And I was so amazed at this place. It was the island I'd seen in my dreams. And then there's this part in the prophecy that says, let success be your proof. Well, how do you know it's the island? Well, you know because things go right round it. And so when I changed the New Zealand national anthem, I realised that the island was New Zealand. This prophecy was really real. So it was an amazing time in my life. Like all these things to happen from this crazy, oblique, irrational idea of an island, and then suddenly I ended up changing the national anthem of this country. And so this was the sign I was looking for. So, and that was amazing. And that was at the time that Youth and myself, we all went off after we recorded in New Zealand. We went off to the Great Pyramid, and we ended up doing all the vocals inside the Great Pyramid, which is another crazy thing. You never thought you could get inside the Great Pyramid. We bribed our way in, and we ended up doing this. There's been so many high points, you know. As a child, I dreamt of the Knights Templar. Always fascinated with this, and then for a humble person like myself to get fucking decorated as a knight later on was the biggest joke. And what I'm trying to say is that if you can dream it, it can happen. Yeah. I think like the quantum physicists say, that we're all participants in creating reality. I believe this because my dreams really have come true. So if you can dream something and see yourself in it, if you can hold that vision, it really will come true. Napoleon said, beware of the man who dreams with his eyes open. And I'm one of those people, you know. And I realised that dreams are real important. So now I'm at the stage of my life, well, what next to dream? And what else should I do with the remainder of my life? And, you know, there's more challenges. I've been asked to go into politics, and I'd never do such a scuzzy job. I mean, I can't think of one example of a musician who's gone into politics who's ever done anything worthwhile. There's not one. Look at Peter Garrett. You know that Australian monkey with the bald head who sung for Midnight Oil? Look at him. He was part of the Green Party, and then he joined the Australian Labour Party, and when he got in, he was singing songs like about the Aborigines, and he was singing songs like US air bases. And as soon as he gets into power in government, right, he says, oh, I believe in the ANZUS alliance, and the US base should stay, and the Americans are our friends, they should stay here. And then he goes and sells all the Aborigines tribal lands to the mining corporation. Huh? Motherfucker. You know, I mean, I can't see one example. Look at Bono. I can't think of anybody more corrupt than this man. This man who the Wall Street Journal listed 10 ways how Bono could have alleviated poverty. He's made 1 billion in his life. He's tried to become head of the IMF, and with his latest, he's just got 180 million from various celebrities. Not one penny of that has gone to the recipients in his charity. Not one penny, not even 1% of it. You know, it's a tax write-off. Yeah. And he just struts around. He's just so arrogant. In the time where people have so little, it's obscene. Taking his picture with people like corrupt people like Bill Gates, who's the biggest sponsor of Monsanto. You know, and upstaging the G8 meeting by having his photograph taken with Blair and all these other war criminals. You know, I think he's a fucking disgrace. I think this guy, he struts around thinking that he's a spokesman of our generation. And I just like to say, you're not, you motherfucker, you Irish piece of shit. Huh? I hope your head ends up in the basket where it belongs, motherfucker. So I don't like him either. And that's what that other bloody Irishman, Geldof, a month ago, he was in the first class lounge at British Airways. And he insisted on boarding the plane before all the other first class passengers. Man of the people, huh?
Yeah, not anymore.
Scum. And that guy, you know, he makes out he's so left-winged, Geldof. I remember when he came to New Zealand, he was slagging off another musician for being reactionary. And look at how he lives. I mean, he just thinks he's a statesman. He's just disgusting. Like I say, I can't think of any example of a musician who's ever done anything good.
So you won't be going into politics?
No, I don't think so. I think the most revolutionary act we could contribute to would be food production and education. And, of course, the environment above everything.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your headline set tonight.
You silly fucker.